Ruben Amorim seemed to not want Man United to pass Grimsby in order to punish and teach his players a lesson, according to Simon Jordan. Man United were knocked out of the EFL Cup in some fashion after losing to League Two outfit Grimsby on penalties. There were dreadful performances across the pitch, with some Man United fans calling for Andre Onana's contract to be terminated after his shambolic showing in goal. Also, new signing to Man United Benjamin Sesko was also branded a coward for taking the 10th penalty in the shootout, mirroring the lack of confidence and anxiety in the squad. However, former Crystal Palace chairman Jordan felt that there may be method to Amorim's madness in the aftermath of the defeat. Talking on TalkSport, 28th of August, about the catastrophic display from the Red Devils the night before, the ex-Palace chief considered an alternative view to why the Portuguese may have actually been happy with the loss as a way to punish the diabolical showing from his players. The pundit said, "Well, I think to him the embarrassment was already there. I think he'd watched his team be scandalously poor during the game. And there's a part of me that thinks deep in the recesses of his psychological thinking, he was quite happy if Man United lost that penalty shootout, knowing what was coming his way. He was deeply congratulatory of Grimsby's speed," said the better side one. He knew that if United had won that penalty shootout, people would have given those players a pass. It would have been a bad day at the office. In the second half United dug themselves out, perky little team from League Two, gave everybody a game, but United came through a penalty shootout and everyone would have forgotten about it. Jordan then spoke on how the Red Devils were being battered through much of the game, with Harry Maguire's touch, for what should have been a third goal for Grimsby, wrongly dubbed an offside call that went their way. The co-presenter defended the Portuguese's actions, adding, "So, there's a part of me that thinks no, I don't think he'd be wishing it, defeat, but I don't think he cared at that point. I think he was so embarrassed by the what we'd seen on the pitch that he actually felt this is a terrible injustice. These bunch of cheats, United players, that are going to get away with it as a penalty shootout. My players are going to get away with it. So actually I don't want any part of it." View Instagram post. Ruben Amorim handing Man United players a baptism by fire clearly not working yet. Whilst Jordan may not be completely wrong in his hypothesis, the ex-Sporting CP boss has shown during his tenure that anyone who doesn't fit his ideals will be thrown under the bus. Moreover, although his transparency has been criticized and praised by various parties, Amorim does wear his heart on his sleeve to show he is only human and is trying his best to resurrect a dying giant of football. However, when we look at his strategy of throwing players in the deep end in the hope they can swim, it appears few are buoyant in the murky waters of Old Trafford. Manuel Ugarte, deemed a savior to a tiring United midfield, has underwhelmed and struggled to truly embed himself into the English top flight. The defensive backline has appeared shaky and nervous, knowing their next touch could lead to a catastrophic moment in the game. Perhaps, the former Braga manager needs to rethink his current approach to getting the best out of his players and, rather than show the world their flaws and concerns, put an arm round their shoulders to bring his squad out of a dark place.